All right, last four. We still need a common denominator. So this guy's kind of a little shorter because he just needs a 3 on this term right here. We got a k in common with everybody, but we just need a 3. So let's give this guy a 3. So we got to give the 3 to that. And like I said, it's a lot better to wrap all these binomials in parentheses. It's just better because that way you get a sense that they are locked up. You can't just cross them out willy-nilly, okay? So always do that. Oh, missed one right here. There we go. Or, understand that our goal is to turn everything into parentheses. As many as possible. Okay, so now we see that k cannot equal 0 because 3 times 0 would produce 0. I'd get division of 0. So k cannot equal 0. So he might pop up as one of our answers. We don't know. We always have to check for extraneous solutions. So now that we have an even playing field, I can actually cross that out, and I can have 3 times k plus 2 equals 1 minus parentheses k plus 5. All right, now I have a multi-step equation that takes me all the way back to the whole reason why you were learning this back in the 8th grade. Okay, we're going to distribute the negative sign to both of those. Then the k will come over here, and the 6 will go over there. So over here we'll have 1 minus 5 minus 6. So 4k equals, what is that? That's negative 11 plus 1 is negative 10. So divide by 4. Negative 10 over 4 is not there because we divide both the top and the bottom by 2. So our answer is C. Okay, our answer was not 0 at all, so we're good. We didn't have to worry about that. Okay, now k cannot equal 4 for sure, but let's factor out this. Factors of 4 that add up to negative 5 are negative 4 and negative 1. So k cannot equal 4 or positive 1. Okay, so this guy also is k minus 4, k minus 1. Okay, so these guys are identical. Those can be added together, but this guy needs a k minus 1. So let's give him a k minus 1. All right, now they are completely even. Okay, let's put that k minus 1. Now they're all even. So we've got k minus 6 plus k minus 6 plus k equals k minus 1 times 1, which is just k minus 1. So we add the two k's together here. 2k minus 6 equals k minus 1. Going to move this guy over here. That's a k. Then we're going to move that 6 over here, and he will become positive. So negative 1 plus a positive 6 is positive 5. 5 is not 4, and it's not 1. So our final answer is B. Okay. So this guy looks like we've got an x squared. So he's only got 1, he's only got 1. So we got to give these guys an x. Okay, he needs an extra x. So give him an x. Give him an x. Okay, but then we also got to give each of these guys a 2. Okay, so that we get a 2x squared. So I had to give him a 2, had to give him an x, had to give him a 2 and an x. He needed both. So now that they are all even, we can cross them out. But let's take a look for a second though. X cannot equal 0. Okay, if I don't see any parentheses here, but I do see an x, then I know that I can't equal 0. So now those guys are all set, and I get 2x equals 2 plus x squared minus x. So I'm going to distribute those guys. Okay, and there's the 2 for 2 times 1, and then this guy is 2x. All right, now this is going to result in a quadratic here. Okay, now let's see what we get. In order to solve a quadratic, I have to have it equal to 0. Okay, so let's move this guy over here. So I get a 0 equals 2 plus x squared. He'll become negative for a minus 3x. Now these guys are in the wrong order, so let's do that. Okay, what are the factors that of 2 that give us negative 3? That would be x minus 2 and x minus 1. So therefore, x equals 2 would give me 0, and positive 1 would give me 0. Those guys are not 0, so these are both good. My final answer is D. Okay, last one. We got an n plus 3. I don't see an n plus 3. He does not have an n plus 3 at all. But I do see almost an n plus 3. So let's take out an n out of both of those, and there we go. So this means that I need to give him an n squared plus 3n. He doesn't need anything, but he needs an extra n. Okay? All right, and then he needs all of it. He needs an n and an n plus 3. Now, once that's all even, we can cross them out, but let's make sure that we understand what our two answers cannot be. They cannot be 0, and they cannot be negative 3. So we'll watch out for those if they pop up in our answers. Now, already I can see negative 3, negative 3, negative 3. So it's got to be this answer right here, okay? Because that's an excluded value, he cannot show up 3 times. So that's the answer. How do we know this? Well, let's check it out. We got n times n plus 6 equals n times n plus 3 minus 1, because he didn't need anything. Okay, just unravel. Okay, and this is a quadratic over here, so let's set that to 0. But this is nice. Those actually is not a quadratic anymore. Okay, so these guys actually canceled out. Let's get the n by itself, so we're going to move the 1 over there. Divide by negative 3, and we get negative 1/3 equals n, and that's exactly what we were supposed to get. Okay, so that's it. That is the game. It's going to be a relatively shorter test. Okay, and good luck. Please study. Oh my gosh, if you don't study, if you are sticking around to listening to my word of advice, last time on the test, on the semester exam, if you put a star next to your first name, you got 3 extra credit points. If you put a star next to the word fun on your test, you will get 5 extra credit points. All right? Because that means you're listening to my voice. It's good to listen. That's 90% of the good life, is being a good listener. All right, have a good one.